So, hello everyone, I am Jay from the Placement International Program Office. So today's initial briefing. Hello. No worries. So today's initial briefing for me to give you more information about the summer school, what's going to happen next, what things you need to get ready for, like health, insurance wise, and also just a little bit extra time for you to talk to each other because you're going to the same summer school. This is Ines, so she's going to accompany you for the first week when you are in Shanghai. So during that week, if you have any issues, you can see Ines in person, but our staff will only be there for the first week. So the rest of the time, you still need to contact us for emails, or you can just talk to the staff from ECNU as well. And I think I can start now. Yeah, I can start now. So, first thing first is the dates. So the first line is actually the course date, and we do have the compulsory cultural activity on Saturday, which is the 12th of July. So that will be a city tour in Shanghai. The dates are very important if you are eligible for touring, so you need to follow exactly the dates to be eligible for touring. Hello. So the minimum date requirement is 28 days. So if you follow the dates, then you'll be eligible. If you have delays, for example, then you won't be aboard for 28 days, then you won't be eligible for touring anymore. I will highlight that again later, but yeah, that's the dates you need. So about the timeline, from March to April, we have gone through the nomination process, the application directly to partner. You can start with the compulsory safety and well-being aboard meeting video, which is available, one of the requirements on my placement. If you haven't done the application directly to ECNU, then you need to note the deadline, but obviously the sooner you get it done, the better, and then you can start processing everything else, like your accommodation or your visa, for example. From April till May, we have the whole pre-departure period, which include travel approval Q&A, we have the intercultural workshop for summer school students, we have the briefing meeting like today, and the whole travel approval process on my placement. I'll get more detail about what is the travel approval, but that's very important if you need to get ready to go aboard. And finally, the summer school pre-departure meeting. So that's the dates we haven't get it yet, but that'll be roughly before the summer, around May, and also after your exam period. So that would be the last chance for you to meet all the rest of the students, and also you'll be able to meet Ines in person finally before you set off. So that will be your last chance to ask any question you have in person. So Ines will be holding that meeting.
Well, I will set it up soon, I promise.
Yeah, so at the moment, that's a little bit too early for that, but because we need to go through the travel approval process first on my placement. So, I don't know why I said depart for Europe, but obviously depart for China, and you will need to follow the dates for the Shanghai Summer School. So about the course, you should already know this, but the tuition fee is 5,400 yuan, and application fee is 400 yuan. But if you are eligible for touring, there's no tuition fee and no application fee required from you. So the daily routine will be weekdays morning from 9 to half 11. You will need to take basically Chinese language course and also Chinese culture class. If you have been checking our website, you can find photos from last year. So students doing like handcraft, for example, that's Chinese culture experience. So you should already know this is a language-focused summer school, so Mandarin will be the main thing you'll be learning. Some cultural experience are in the afternoons. So just highlight again, there is a compulsory city tour on Saturday, 12th July. We have students ask, oh, why there's something on Saturday, do I have to attend it? If it's compulsory, then yes. And if you're a touring student, definitely yes, you need to attend that city tour to be eligible for touring. And another thing I like to highlight is ECNU's teaching structure is class-based. So that will mean your classmate will be your classmate, and then just the teacher might change over time, but people around you will be the same group of people. And especially this summer school is facing to international students. maybe not just for Manchester. So you might have other students from all over the world come to ECU just to study Mandarin. So just a heads up for you, you shouldn't really expect to have a lot of interaction with Chinese students or local students, because summer school is facing to international students. There will also be more opportunity to take part in trips. As you should be already know, there's like the trip to Henan, for example, but some definitely with extra cost. If you're a tourist student and you choose optional trips, then the fee won't be covered by university. So only the tuition fee and application fee will be covered. And again, students who receive touring funding must follow the dates and attend the compulsory trip to receive fundings. Otherwise, you won't be aboard for 28 days, and then you won't eligible for touring anymore. So your responsibilities. I'm just going to read through this. So you're responsible for taking a proactive approach to your summer school. You are expected to pay careful attention to all information given to you by Manchester or the host institute through emails, mail, or in the meetings, and act upon any instruction given. You are expected to check your email account regularly and to attend all meetings held. There will be a number of documents for you to review and complete before you go, so you are responsible for keeping track of all this and complete them on time. And again, it's very, very important you keep in regular contact with our team and also check your email very regularly. Our main method just through emails, so it's very important you check your email regularly and do not let your account go over quota. Right, so application, I already sent email with instruction in it. So even though you have been nominated to study at ECU, you must still submit application directly to ECU and be accepted. But this is just part of the process for them to confirm your identity and get more personal information from you. Normally, if there's no, for example, you can't really submit any kind of document, for example, you won't be rejected at this point. But still, you still need to follow the procedure, otherwise it won't really have your identity, like documents, for example. And the application will be entirely online. You should already also receive the application guide notes. I like to highlight again, if you are a touring student, remember to choose the WP student only for the study duration. If you are just a regular student, just choose the regular study duration on the application guide notes. You must read through carefully of all the form and the guidance and ensure you have filled in all the relevant sections and enclose all the relevant supporting documentary. So again here, you must choose University of Manchester WP student only student duration if you are a touring student, because that's the reason why you don't need to pay for tuition fee. So if you choose the wrong one, you will still be asked to pay for tuition fee. Obviously, you will have the nomination sheets that will know if you're a WP student or not. But again, it's going to save us so many processes if you just write one at the beginning. Right, about the health information. So this is very important. So if you have already done a few requirements on my placement, you have come across to this questionnaire which is called Travel Health Self-Assessment. So everybody needs to do this. And at the end of the self-assessment, you have information to see if you need a fit to travel or not. So all the information about what to do and why you need to do it is available on the briefing document. Especially if you have any already existing health conditions, it's very important for you to read through the document because everybody's condition is very different. There might be some action required from you. So just bear that in mind. Definitely need to check the documents, all right? So that email address, PIP Wellbeing, is our email address for any kind of health well-being related issues. So for general questions, still email goaboard@manchester.ac.uk. But if you have any well-being related issue, please do email that email address directly. So for health conditions, I just say, if at the end of travel health self-assessment, it says you need a fit to travel, if your condition is well managed, not that serious, then please do get the fit to travel from your GP first, because that's probably the most fast way for you to get fit to travel. If your health condition is more serious, unstable, or difficult to manage, please inform me through that email address. if you need a fit to travel, still try to go get that from your GP first. But if you really struggle with it, I can give you a referral. But it's just going to take longer for the document stuff. So that's why we always recommend you to get one through your GP. And for other things, for example, if you are registered with us, please also inform us as well if you want your support plan to be shared with the partners. So with your consent, we can get your support plan and then pass that to the to ECNU. But again, if you want your support plan to be shared with that and want it to be shared to ECNU, please do use that email address. And let me just see if I missed everything. Right, so that's basically everything. But again, because documents are really long, as you should already know, they're like vaccines, well-being, mental health, and disability and stuff. Check the documents if you need. And yeah. Right, so what is the travel approval? This is a very important and kind of short, long-ish process. So this is a series of actions and documents you need to complete and sign before you are ready to go. You need to go through each document on my placement and take actions if necessary. So once you are done, you will need to submit the travel approval request as a final step on my placement, making sure that you have met all the necessary conditions before we can grant you travel approval. I don't know if any of your students, but I can already see a couple of students submit the travel approval request, which I just click on receive, because you shouldn't really sign that yet, because you need to be at this compulsory initial briefing because that's part of the process. So that's basically the last step you need to do. So you go through everything on my placement, you have get all the, for example, if you need health document, you already get that, and then you click travel approval request. That means you are ready to go, you are all prepared. And yeah, so start completing the next requirement. We are able to always read everything carefully to ensure you are fully informed on all aspects of your summer school. It's recommended you get your travel approval 4 weeks before you leave. But for some students, if the process is not very necessary for you, you can just already doing that bit by bit. It's just sometimes it can be a bit longer if you want your support plan to be shared or you need fit to travel. So I just recommend you get your travel approval. Yes.
I was wondering, is the travel approval being granted by the university, or is it more of a visa situation?
No, it's just by us.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's basically means you already ticked all the documents, signed everything, getting ready, and then before you leave. Oh yeah, and this is why we have travel approval for very important as well. So you must have your travel approval in order to receive funding and to be covered by University of Insurance. Obviously, before you go, I always check if students have requests or not, and if you get travel approval or not. And if you don't get it, then you won't be covered by the University Insurance. And if you are touring students, how quickly can you receive touring money is also based on how fast you get travel approval process as well. So as you already know, if you are touring students, you have like touring scheme documents, and also you need to get your travel approval request processed to then be eligible to receive the money. So we have students who have a request for travel approval, we just ask that, oh, when I can receive the money. So basically you need to get travel approval request all done first, and then to be able to receive fundings. We also have travel approval drop-ins, which is online on Thursday, 8th of May. You can find the links to the meeting on the Go Board website, pre-departure session. But again, you will all receive the links for it, so just need to check your email regularly. So this drop-in is, if you have any question about travel approval, you can just have your question and then ask our staff who actually manage most procedure of the travel approval. This is just for travel approval drop-in. So if you have a general summer school question, just remember to email us. Right, insurance. So the university insurance only covers you in the location of your summer school. So if you want to undertake any extra travel outside of the summer school time, you will need extra travel insurance. Please do check the website if you want to know what's covered by the insurance. So in general, it's just more like emergency travel insurance. If you have pre-existing condition and you need what certain type of insurance, you need to get that yourself. So again, you must have your travel approval in order to receive funding and to be covered by university insurance. And is visa. So travel, first of all, the travel arrangement will be your own responsibility. So we won't travel together as a whole group. You need to book your own flight. Obviously, because Ines is going to China, if you have, like, for example, anxious about travel alone, or you really haven't been travel alone before and you want to travel with Ines, you can just email us and let us know. But again, since you already met each other, some students want to travel together as a small groups, that's fine as well. But again, that will be your self-arrangement. And please do not pay for your flights until you have the confirmation of your acceptance at your summer school and you are in receipt of your visa. We know this can be like, we know that you need to book your flight as early as possible to get cheap flight. And for example, I don't really see issue of the confirmation of your place at the summer school. But again, we just don't really recommend you to book like this early, around like March or April. It's because some students, if they have like suddenly some commitment come up or some unforeseen circumstances come up and you book the flight that are not refundable, then that's a lot of money for you. Especially if you're a training student, you won't get that money back. And if you can't go to summer school anymore, obviously you need to give that money back to the university as well. So it's just a lot of money is gone wasted. I would say it's more like you see you're good to go and you want to book the flight, then you can just do it, but we just don't recommend to book that early. But again, the International Program Office, we're not official immigration advice service, so we don't have a lot of information about visa, for example. But you are always free to contact the visa team, which should be on the next page. But if not, it's available on the website. For your visa, so ECNU will provide all the documents that you need through visa. So once we have done all the application process, they will contact you roughly around April or May. But the visa for China is roughly really simple because we have stuff we've done it last year. What you need to do right now, because you need your passport to get your visa, if your passport is going to expire very soon, renew that right now. And beside that, ECNU will provide more guidance about visa applications. So just finish your application as soon as possible, and they have more formal knowledge about the visa you need. So they will provide all the documents as well. And about what type of visa you can get, it's normally just a normal visa to enter China, and the roughly cost will be around 160. But again, that exactly amount you will need to see your final invoice. And yeah. So about safety, you need to check out the official government website to see if there any travel advice for your destination. But again, you need to pay fully attention to local safety and travel information in China. For example, there's scams, see political situation, cultural difference, internet. Oh yeah, internet might be one of the main issues that you need to remember when you go to China, so you won't have access to Google, Instagram, Netflix, for example, which I think you should already know. And another thing will be China don't really receive cash anymore that often. So what you need to do is download the app like WeChat or Alipay, because that might be one of the most convenient way for you to pay. And if you want to have some cash in hand, you can always change some money just in case. And yeah.
I think one of the things, sorry, just to go back for a second, just in terms of cultural difference and political difference, it's not necessarily about the politics here, but I think it is kind of thinking about who you are as a person, what your identity is, and how that's going to translate. We'll talk about this more as the next time we meet, but no amount of research is really going to prepare you for on-the-ground experience. So there is a little bit of flexibility and mitigating anything that is perhaps unexpected, but do think about whether it's gender, ethnicity, sexuality, race, all of those kind of different factors of what makes you you, and think about how that actually translates to China as well. No biggie, just something for you to think about. in advance?
Yeah, and just relate to that. So, as you already know, there is a document. Well, if you have gone through some, there are a document called risk assessment. So if you have like, for example, some certain thing you want to go through, just read that document. And if you need to do an extra risk assessment, just follow the procedure as well. Like, for example, relate to gender or cultural differences, for example. There's just so many things covered in the risk assessment. So please read through the whole thing and then take actions. Okay. And so just highlight again for the summer school deposit. You already pay for deposit and you have signed both the document. So if you withdraw from now on, unless any kind of major issues, for example, this here, then you won't have your deposit back. Yeah, if you need to go over the document again, it's available on the website, but I just want to highlight here again about the deposit this year. And about the cancellation policy. So in saying you operate a payment policy whereby tuition fee become non-refundable once the program starts. So any cancellation made after start date will not receive a tuition fee refund. So if you are a touring student, as you know, your application and tuition fee is covered by university. If you, for example, withdraw after the program starts, you need to pay, basically any student whose summer school tuition fee are paid by university will be personally liable for covering this fee and will need to pay this money back to the University of Manchester. The application fee paid to ECNU is completely non-refundable regardless of the dates of the cancellation. So any students whose fee are covered by a University of Manchester bursary will be responsible for returning a deposit to the University of Manchester in the case of withdrawal. So just in short, if your tuition fee is paid by university, if you withdraw after the program starts, the tuition fee, you need to give the amount of tuition fee to the University of Manchester because you already paid that amount. And if you withdraw, the university can't get a refund from ECNU, so you're liable to cover that fee. And the touring scheme. So if you're eligible for touring, you should already be contacted by the touring team. If you are not eligible, you shouldn't really hurt anything. If you want any reason or why you're not eligible, just remember to email the touring scheme, which is right here, email address. If you have any specific touring question about how much you can receive and how you can use that money, remember to email touring scheme as well. So just to highlight again, because this is update this year, so student may receive touring scheme funding for maximum for one summer school. So for example, if you attended the summer school last summer and you were eligible for touring, then you won't be eligible to receive touring money again this year. It's because we try to prioritize students who haven't been to a summer school before, just give everybody a bit fair chances. And yeah, and again, you will need to complete required document to receive funding, that including the document from the touring team and also the travel approval process. So about the accommodation, that's the accommodation date from the 11th of July to the next of August. So you have the choice to live on campus or you can organize your own accommodation. But we don't really recommend you to arrange your own accommodation. It's because if you stay on campus accommodation, if you need any need for like or emergency and stuff like that, our staff can always find you. So that's the options. On-campus accommodation options are standard double room and economy double room. I like to highlight again is for standard double room. Obviously, you have aircon. You need to share with a roommate. Free internet, private restroom, share with a roommate. However, if you are staying at the economic double room, share with a roommate, aircon, all gala, and free internet, public restroom, but that's shared with the same floor. So at ECNU, that will be a public bathroom shared with the same floor, but it's gender-based. So basically, the whole people and you're both supposed to be the same gender. If you have any requirement about that, please contact us and just let us know if you have any requirement ASAP. ECNU will contact you soon, late May or June, regarding accommodation and visa process, for example. And yeah, and if you have any question about diet and allergics, just want to be safe, you can inform us, and I will pass the information along to ECNU. And again, you can contact ECNU directly just to inform them as well. So Ian is here, like I mentioned before, will be going to Shanghai summer school for the first week. The dates and more information will be shared during final pre-departure session before the summer, but it's roughly just around the same day. So when Ines probably arrive around the same time that you arrive for your accommodation. So the role of the staff, I'm just gonna go through this, will be hold a final pre-departure session before you're ready to go. Ines will set up a WeChat group chat to communicate with students. But that is only for pre-departure and the first week of the summer school usage. So we don't really set up the group chat right now, just because we only use that during that period. And Ines will be able to provide welfare support for students while they're at the summer school. Also, Ines will provide a daily drop-in while Ines at the summer school, and also be your main contact with University of Manchester while Ines is at summer school. Sorry, just during that first week. So while Ines is there, she will be your main contact, but she's actually there. And also the important information about the numbers. So always save those numbers at your phone. So China fire will be 119, place 110, and medical 120.
But so try not to get yourself in a situation where you have to call any of those numbers, please.
But always save it on your phone, just in case.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, and that's the role of Ines. So basically today, just to let you know that we do have staff accompany you for the first week, just for your information. And finally, we have the intercultural workshop. As Ines and I mentioned before, there will be cultural differences. We know this can be a little bit discomfort, or if it's the first time for you to go somewhere that far away, or might be the first time for you to go abroad. Acknowledge there's cultural differences is very important. So we do offer this free workshop to help you make the most of your upcoming summer school. This is a workshop focused on intercultural awareness and communication skill that will boost your employability, will also support you fully to benefit from your international adventure. So this workshop is limited to the first 25 people. So register now for the one of the session below before they're fully booked. There will be tea, coffee, and cake will be provided. I'm kind of giggling already because that's good. But yeah, so we have the dates and the time here, so please check. If you want to show up to the workshop, you should already receive an email that I sent out before. And just through that link, you can register. And yeah. And any questions? If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer now. And if you don't have any questions now, there's a free time for you to talk to each other about everything. Yeah.